Yes.
Okay. Thanks to everyone for being here today. It's a big pleasure and a big challenge as we feel we started our day on Saturday, and speaking in English is also difficult when you try to put your words in order to leave good messages here, no? But very, very thanks with Emilio for taking us here to give a picture about what is going on these days in Latin America, right? I would like to say that I'm the managing director of the Venture Capital and Private Equity Association, representing more than 90 GPs, firms, funds, investing in the best entrepreneurs in Argentina. But I also have the privilege of co-leading a roundtable of almost 12 associations working collaboratively together in Latin America to boost our potential. Latin America is a region that represents 8% of the GDP globally, but only 2.5% of investments in entrepreneurs. That has demonstrated that it's a place with a lot of unicorns, more than 50 unicorns in Latin America.
Perdona un momentito. Por favor, os rogamos silencio, porque si no es un poco difícil escuchar a los ponentes, ¿de acuerdo? Si tenéis que hablar, por favor, hacerlo fuera o hacerlo a un volumen adecuado por respeto a los ponentes que están aquí. Okay, thanks so much for your patience. Sorry. Okay.
And we want to encourage and invite everyone to take a look about the opportunities we can have while working together, LATAM and Europe. Well, I would like to start my conversation asking Jose, fund in Brazil. Brazil represents 50% of the investments done in the venture capital in Latin America. What he can share to us regarding the local ecosystem and the thesis of his particular fund.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Jose. I'm the managing partner of Norte Ventures, a fund in Brazil. So just to give you a glimpse of what the Brazilian market is. So Brazil has more than 200 million people living there. We are in the top 10 largest GDP in the world. We are also very prone to technology. I think we are on the top 3 countries that use WhatsApp, top 3 of Uber, Netflix. So Brazil definitely has a lot of room to innovation and innovation through technology. So that's what my fund is doing there. We are an early stage fund in Brazil. We position ourselves as a founders fund. So the main entrepreneurs from the country are our investors, entrepreneurs that founded companies such as Mercado Libre, Nubank, iFood, some of the unicorns there. In Brazil, it's a good point to say we have almost 20 unicorns. So it's a great number for a Latin American country. So we focus more on early stage, pre-seed and seed, look for entrepreneurs that are brilliant and that are solving some of the more structural problems of Latin America. Yeah, thank you.
Interesting, Jose. And as we said, this roundtable of almost 12 countries in Latin America are very well connected. And every April, we held a big event in Miami, which represents more than 500 venture capital firms from Latin America willing to connect with LPs. And we are trying to do the same here in Europe, willing to connect with those that believed in this synergy, right? So, Pao, I would like to hear about Colombia, their local ecosystem. It's very interesting, your story regarding private and public agenda and your track record. How is that impacting in the regulatory aspects in which you are taking place in Colombia to boost entrepreneurs?
Thank you, Juanma. Good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Startup Ole for the invitation. We're so pleased to be here in Salamanca, sharing these days with the ecosystem. It's been very enriching, so thank you for that. I would like to start by kind of presenting myself. I'm Paola Garcia. I'm the managing director of Colcapital. Colcapital is the Private Equity and Venture Capital Association of Colombia. We have 160 members, of which 82 are GPs, and the rest are service providers for the industry. And I think the question you are planting is quite interesting. I think definitely the best collaboration and the best situation that we could ever have is having a public and private partnership within the ecosystem, definitely. As you said, I used to work on the public side. I used to work for many years in ProColombia, attracting foreign direct investment to the country. And now, as a part of Colcapital, I see that collaboration from both sides is absolutely key. It's definite that when we're both, the private sector and the public sector, on the same boat and rowing at the same direction, we get there faster. And one of the examples that we have in Colombia recently is a law that we were able to enable that permits pension funds, which are the main LP in Colombia, to invest 3% of their portfolio in GPs that are investing in the country. So this supposes an inflow of about $2,500 million additional to what they're already investing. So it's been a win-win situation for sure, and when we go together, we have very good results, and this is one of the examples.
Really interesting, Pau. David, it's like you're too young to be to having so a powerful story. But let's start by saying that in one way you are the father of the local association of venture capital and private equity, and that you used to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, David. That's my name in English. Yes. So what do you want me to tell? I want to present myself, obviously, and maybe give a message. I'm David Alvo. I'm from Chile. I'm a founder that turned into a VC, ecosystem builder, then turned into an impact-driven founder. I was part of Betterfly, one of the 4 unicorns in Chile. And then I became an impact investor, and I'm investing in companies that the planet will invest in. We invest in early stages, at a pre-seed and seed rounds, we lead rounds, and yeah, we're investing all over Latin America. And I accepted this invitation to come here, and I really appreciate your invitation, Juanma, to think about me and to start Tapale. Just to connect the dots between Spain and Europe and Latin America. I think Cristobal Colón did a great job by going out there and bringing a lot of good stuff for the region. And I think you can do the same in this ecosystem. We're just starting. Obviously, there's like maybe 20 years we started in Chile. We have a really healthy ecosystem. We're 9% of the people that you have in Brazil, but we have about 20% of unicorns, and there's a lot of mix of talent and problems. So there's a lot of people, good people, trying to solve big problems, and obviously you are ahead of us. And so if you go out there, you will see that there's plenty of opportunities for you out there to do good business, to build a better world, and yeah, and to have fun also.
This is so true, David. We are completely convinced about the talent we have nowadays on the region, and we are completely convinced that right now what we are needing in the region is more capital, right? And we want to support entrepreneurs to think globally, right? And in a way, Jose, you have more than 90 startups being invested in your portfolio company, and you are inviting them to go bigger, connecting with the Hispano-American and Iberoamerican ecosystem, right? Which is the work and the value you are delivering to them, and in which way?
Mm-hmm. Good. So yeah, one thing that we try to pass the idea to our startups is that, one, they do not have to be afraid to go abroad, to go international. Brazil by itself is a huge market, so they have plenty of time to be able to implement a product, to find product market fit, to find the best channels to sell, to get the experience, and then when they have that, they are able to go abroad. Of course, the closest countries are the other Latin American countries. And there are macro similarities in the way the people are, in the way the socioeconomic pyramid works. So it's good for them to go, and they can use their network to go into these countries. But it's always great to have someone from there to start the operations, to handle the operations. So we always encourage companies to do that. Another market that our companies like to try out is the United States, because it's also somewhat closer. But Europe, they are definitely looking into it, and that this opportunity here is a great way to build a bridge between them. We know that many Brazilian companies have gone abroad to Europe, and they're doing really well. And there are also many European companies, Spanish companies that operate in Brazil, so there is definitely a bridge, and we try to foster that bridge even more.
The importance of having local champions in different latitudes to increase and to internationalize. David, you know that nowadays we feel like we have different waves regarding the investment ecosystem in the last years. And I want to hear your version about that. Which ones did you identify in terms of characteristics? And how is your thesis unique?
Okay, so in Chile, we started like maybe 15, 20 years ago with a few private equity going to venture capital. So there were a venture capital that were taking at an early stage like 40% of the companies, 50% of the companies, they have control of the company. And so that was the first generation of VCs and startups seeing VCs as their enemies, right? Then we had the second generation of people that were more professional. They worked at VCs all over the world, and they came to Chile just to create the ecosystem and take the opportunity that there was a lot of new founders because we had Startup Chile bringing entrepreneurs. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs, not many VCs, and there's that second generation. And this third generation is the generation of founders that did well, that they exited their companies, their unicorns or whatever, and they're coming back to pay it forward for the ecosystem. And Impact VC is that case, right? I was a founder. I had 6 companies. I did a lot of bad stuff, but a lot of good also. And I see myself, and there's a new wave of VCs that are really hands-on on the companies, and we are really away from being the enemy. We are part of the team. Actually, every time I invest in a company, they onboard me as a team member. I have an email. I have weekly meetings, and so we really are hands-on. And my team of 25 people from 20 years old to 60 years old, we're really into the companies that are from our portfolio.
Interesting, so interesting. Pau, you also can share with us a very good story regarding the evolution of the different ecosystems in Latin America. And nowadays, there's a brand in Colombia. Rappi Magia, Rappi Magic, what's that?
Yeah, I think it's a very nice story to tell. Actually, Rappi was the first unicorn in Colombia. And from this unicorn, it has become like the most potent incubator of startups in Latin America. From the Rappi team, 150 startups have already evolved. They have been able to raise more than $2 billion since they worked at Rappi and they started their startups. They have been able to create more than 12,000 jobs through these 150 startups or more. And they have built a complete ecosystem where the main investors have been the Rappi founders. So they have not only been involved as intelligent capital, but actually they have been mentoring even their employees and creating this new wave of talent that has been leaving a mark not only in Colombia as a country where Rappi was born, but also in all of the countries where Rappi has been growing in Latin America. So these startups are not only Colombian startups, there are also Chilean startups, Brazilian startups, Argentinian startups, even German startups have come out of the Rappi team. So I think it's a very interesting case. We will probably see a Harvard Business case very soon of this Rappi magic case because it has been evolving very quickly and very solidly. And I think it's definitely a case to follow because we wish that all of the founders had this vocation of mentoring their employees to be able to make them also serial entrepreneurs. So it's a very positive wave.
I feel passion there.
Let me comment on that.
I think David wants to say something regarding this.
Yes, we're hoping, like 15 years ago, we were hoping to Rappi to be successful. And I think that Rappi showed, in one way, they showed the way to be successful. And so people from Rappi that saw the growth of the company, they know how to grow a company. And so they now believe in themselves, and they can do that, the same thing that Rappi founders did. And I think every time we have a new unicorn or a new success story, there's new ways of being successful, and so there's new talent, confident on themselves that they can actually do it. So there's a lot of talent. We also have a lot of problems. So there's opportunities. There's a lot, right? And so that's what the message that I'm trying to say. There's the perfect storm for new investors and new entrepreneurs to go out there and take the opportunities.
And I think just to add on that, I think we're changing the friends, family, and fools that startups usually go to friends, family, and founders, which is more positive than fools, right?
That's true. Jose, these success cases have inspired and educated several among of young leaders in the region, and I want to understand in your agnostic thesis in which verticals you are seeing talent in Brazil, and what are they doing?
Good. I think the first thing we got to understand regarding this, I'll call this like virtual flywheels, is that when you see the first entrepreneurs, so Latin America, we have a entrepreneurship history more recent. When you see the first entrepreneurs doing things and being successful, so the Mercado Libres of the region, the Rappis, new banks, the first thing you say is that, whoa, maybe I can do that too. And it doesn't really depend on the industry. Like what I see founders doing, they look at problems, like at structural problems in Brazil, let's say healthcare, transportation, etc. And they say, okay, I'll try to do that. I might not be from the industry, or I might be, but if someone did something else, I can do that too. So that's one thing that happens a lot. The second one is that talent, they start to see that they can build a career in technology, in startups, not only in like the more traditional paths such as banking, finance, etc. So we create like this good flywheel that makes everyone see that there's a successful path working in a startup or founding a startup. So we see that in many areas, in many industries. So I cannot say like one specific industry that people are trying to do more stuff. I can say that people see problems in Brazil and in Latin America in general, in finance, fintech, in healthcare, etc., and they try to build stuff there. So that's the great thing about it.
Interesting.
I think fintech is now the most investable, invested vertical, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I want to invite the audience, like to take 1 minute to think about in which way you can capture value from Latin America and you can deliver value. We are completely convinced about the synergies possibilities. And I want to close maybe this panel right now asking these guys what they think about the synergies between Latin America and Europe, but they will not for sure have all the answers. I want you to think about it and let's have a chat later. Pau, what do you think? Which is the value you're seeing in connecting Latin America with Europe, right?
Well, in a very globalized world where we have such a natural connection, especially with Spain as the door of entry to Europe, I think the bridge is quite clear. I mean, any of our countries can be the door for them to Latin America, and definitely this is an opportunity for us to meet both sides. I think there's a lot of talent, a lot of new ideas. Our industry is very young in Latin America. I always say that we still cannot vote because we're not yet 18 years old, but it's very vibrant and it's very collaborative. So I think there's definitely a lot of projects to be done within Europe and Latin America.
Oh, I love that. We're not 18 years old. We cannot vote yet.
Yeah, we can't vote yet. I mean, we're getting there.
And Europe, I see Europe as our older brother.
Absolutely.
That can, go to our football match and be the older guy that wins the game, right?
They have to be the mentors.
Yeah, and we're really open to that. I see a lot of humility in founders in Latin America. They are really open to listen. We understood that we need to listen to people that already did what we want to do. And so that's my vision. That's what I wanted to come here, just to take some older brothers to go out there and play the game, and also to be. I'm here to be of help of anyone here that wants to go to Latin America. I'm really connected. I'm really a networker, and I've been 13 years in this ecosystem, and so I can really be of help for all of you guys.
Thank you, David. Jose, the final words?
I can say that that bridge already exists in like the more traditional industries, right? So if you look at energy, infrastructure, banking, like many of the big companies from Spain, from Italy, from Europe are in Latin America. And we want to see that same bridge in technology, in the startup ecosystem. And I'm pretty sure in the next years we're going to build that. And we being here, we're getting this invite is just a signal that this is going to happen.
So let's say just be part of this story, right?
Exactly.
Thank you very much. ¿Quieres sacar una foto? Así.
What?
Okay, thanks so much.